On October 3rd, 2008, legendary hip-hop producer Johnny J died in the Twin Towers Correctional Facility in Los Angeles, California, allegedly jumping off an upper tier of the prison in an apparent suicide. The Los Angeles Police Department claim that Johnny J was in jail for a DWI charge. The theories about his death are all based around the same fact, that there may have been a racial relations incident with other Latino prison members or possibly guards. People have suggested that other Latino gang members in the jail may have not been too happy with Johnny J's work with a lot of black artists due to the Latino-black race tensions. So the question is, was it suicide or was he murdered and thrown off the tier? I'm SN's artist, vocalist, musician from England, member of the band Swami, solo artist in my own right. In 2006, I met and interviewed Johnny J at his Clockwork Entertainment Studios in Glendale, California, as part of a documentary I was making about Tupac Shakur. I first started listening to Tupac in about 1996, a few months before he passed away, and as I really started discovering his music, a lot of the songs that were my favourites were songs that were produced by Johnny J. So when I heard the news that I was going to be interviewing him, it was a pretty cool moment. We've driven west out of Hollywood along the Golden State Freeway, past many places like Universal Music and Warner headquarters. It's crazy to be outside the very place where Tupac recorded many of his most classic songs. I'm literally walking in Tupac's footsteps right now. As well as producing so many of Tupac's classic songs, Johnny J was a close personal friend of his. It's going to be great to get an insight into the man that he really was.
Every other city we go, every other radio, no matter where I go, I see the same hope. Every other city we go.
Right here we're in the office and I'm surrounded by all the platinum plaques, all the albums that Johnny J's contributed to, all the classic Tupac work. Now there's some incredible stuff on the walls here, man.
Man, it's hard work that's on these walls. I mean, there was a lot put behind them. As you stare over here to our right, this is All Eyes on Me, man, the classic of classic double CDs.
Yep.
Hard work, put behind that one, 11 cuts, Johnny J. So you know the magical record on that one, How Do You Want It?
Totally.
Which is one of the magical records, but that was a big one, man. It was a lot of hard work put behind it.
And that plaque's commemorating 9 million sales.
Definitely.
Which was
over 9 million. I mean,
I'm sure it's far over that now.
Oh, yeah, it's quite.
Yeah.
It's quite.
They'll be sending you another one soon.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's a lot of records sold on that one, man. Over 9 million and still selling to this day. I'm very proud and happy to say we're still selling them. Doing well.
That record is never going to stop selling, man.
Never going to stop. That's going to definitely be one that's going to be here to the end of the earth, which I don't hope comes no time soon, but that's definitely going to be here to stay.
That's just amazing, man. I mean, let's talk about these bottles of Cristal that we've got here on the desk.
Yeah, that was the famous Cristal, man. Sponsored by Cristal on me and Tupac, man. If it wasn't Hennessy, it was definitely Cristal. If it wasn't, it was both, if you want to know the truth. But that was the champagne, man, we did our thing with, man. And this is a 1996 bottle. You know, a couple of bottles that I've always kept on deck. Never will be open, but this is in Tupac's memory. So we got to keep this as part of the legacy, man. This was like our thing.
All right, new drink. 1 part Alizé, 1 part Cristal. Thug's Passion, baby. Y'all know what time it is. This drink is guaranteed.
You know, I don't think we ever did a sober session, but we still got the mission accomplished.
We're going to take a look in the studio now, but before we leave the office, I just got to talk about that plaque on the wall, that one in particular that has every one of Tupac's albums on, and it says 33 million sold.
That is over 33 million on that plaque, which consists of Thug Life, Above the Rim, Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me. You got Are You Still Down, Remember Me, Gang Related, Tupac and the Outlaws, Until the End of Time, and the Greatest Hits. And you can't forget Gridlock, which is the song on there, Never Had a Friend Like Me.
Yeah.
But this is a huge plaque, a very inspirational plaque for me, which combines a pretty good amount of my work. Not all the albums, but a pretty good chunk of them.
I'm walking past picture after frame picture, massive posters of Tupac and, articles from newspapers and magazines about him.
I need to take you guys over to the memorial room and give you a rough concept and idea of what's going on over there. Come on, let's go over here.
Wow, this is incredible. We're here in the memorial room at Johnny J's Clockwork Studios, and this room, it's a tribute to all the talented artists that we've lost over the past 10-20 years. I'm looking around and I see Rick James, Old Dirty Bastard, Luther Vandross, Selena Quintanilla, obviously Tupac, and Aaliyah, Eazy-E. And it's really, this room, it's amazing to stand in because it really hits home the amount of talent that we've lost and that will never be replicated.
I call this a therapeutic room also. It keeps you in mind of how hard these people worked and, you know, where music comes from and how deep and passionate I am about it. But I don't want anyone to forget them. So that's why this room is built. Me and Pac hooked up in the year like 1991. And this is when he just completed Poetic Justice with Janet Jackson. This was a thing that just happened, man, out of the sky blue. I just finished Big Sykes' independent album, Evil Mind Gangsters. Pac heard the beats on the album and said, I would love to meet the producer who worked with you, Syke. And Syke comes by, picks me up. Next thing I know, I'm over at a recording studio that was called Echo Sound at the time. And me and Pac hit it off. I had a stack of beats in my hand, drum machine, which is behind me. The famous SP1200.
Yeah, SP1200.
This is the actual one that did a lot of the Tupac songs. And I was loading them up, throwing beats in there, and it was fire. It was just on after that.
Tupac, he's known for his incredible work ethic. I mean, you know, he'd go into a studio and in one day, you know, you might come out with 3, 4, 5 songs.
Exactly.
I know that he got pissed off when producers would be slow with it.
That's
you know,
true.
He would say like, "Oh, people are taking too long."
That's
you know.
true. You couldn't keep up with his pace, man. You were fired. You were fired on the spot. If you could not maintain his speed, you know, as far as getting that track done, you were definitely dismissed. We met each other's match. Pac and me were a marriage that was meant to be, man.
I mean, how involved was Tupac when it came to the production? Because I know that some tracks it would say co-produced by Tupac.
Right. I would just pop the track up sometimes. I'd have the track. So if Pac walked in with a concept of, Jay, I need to sample Don't Look Any Further, or say All About You was Cameo's Candy.
Yeah.
And, you know, that would be a co-production thing, because Pac would say, Jay, I was just vibing Candy in the car. I need to do that cut. So please, Jay, put the flip on it. Put the Johnny J on it.
Regardless of whether Johnny J really did commit suicide or whether he was murdered, he was no stranger to violence. He was certainly right in the middle of the death row bad boy East versus West hip-hop feud of the mid-90s, producing the classic diss song Hit 'Em Up, where Tupac savagely disses all his enemies, including East Coast artists Notorious B.I.G., Puffy and Mobb Deep.
Mobb Deep killer, Chino XL killer. Much love to Smith & Wesson, Freddie Fox, Pudgy the Fat Bastard, Naughty by Nature, and all the real thugs out.
I didn't expect it to go to the levels it did. I didn't know Hit 'Em Up was going to become what it became. I mean, it just happened on the spot. So, I mean, that was a record that blew me left field. You know, I laid the track, Don't Look Any Further, flipped it, put my twist on it. And Pac was a very, very angry, very frustrated, you know, man at the time. So
You niggas laugh cause our staff got guns in they motherfuckers belt. You know how it is when we drop records they felt. You niggas can't feel it. We the realest. Fuck 'em. We bad boy killers.
I couldn't stop him from doing what he wanted to do, man. That's just something he felt. And he was just ready to open up and let it out. But I had this real crazy feeling that it was going to bring a lot of negative energy, you know, our way.
Yeah.
And I felt that in my heart, like, oh man, what's about to happen? What war are we creating here? And look at what happens. We lose Pac, we lose Biggie. Man, and I don't plan to even produce those kind of records with any artist that I'm working on currently or even in the future. So I kind of stop artists from, like, don't clown the other artists. Why don't you clown them in record sales?
Yeah.
Do that.
Exactly.
Clown them in the record sales. To me, man, out here in the West Coast, and I have to say this, it's just, there's a lot of egos, man, in this town. And I've seen it through my career that the West needs to wake up. It can't just consist of Ice Cube, Snoop, you know, back and forth, you know, the same old. I'm not saying nothing's against them. I love them dudes, man. It's nothing but mad love for them. But the West needs to just get up off their ass, man, and wake up, period.
Yeah.
That's why the West is in a drought. We're in a slump right now. We have a distinctive sound out here that the East takes, and it turns into this big, huge record. But I'm listening to the musical side of it, and I'm like, those are our sounds.